Hi there, Stampin' Peace friends. Welcome once again. I'm Mary Nabe, and I'm excited to have another card making demonstration with you. This isn't, let's see. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I want to tell you, I had something else planned that I was excited about, but I looked today and it sold out. So I quickly changed my plans and did something else. I thought I'm going to offer something that is on sale, but maybe overlooked by many people. And it was available just in the last hour, it went to low inventory. So today I'm going to be working with the Wanted to Say dies. They are 10% off in the last chance list. And like I just said, in the last hour, they moved to the low inventory list. So if you don't have these, but you decide you really want them after today's demonstration, I suggest you order immediately. And perhaps you already have this set of dies, or you have other dies with layered words. There is no stamp set to go with this die set, so that's a little bit unusual. That makes this die set rather unique. And that's why I think it's often overlooked, because it doesn't have a stamp set to go with it. But you're going to be amazed at the cards we can make with it. I'm trying to get that set. Okay, so, excuse me, a lot of the dies, there's a lot in here, but several I have already removed because I've got them in the envelopes with my things that are prepped. But what I want to show you is the words come in pairs. And there's 4 sets of words. There's feel better soon, happy birthday, celebrate, and this one is you're too kind. So one cuts out the letters, the words, and then the other cuts like out, I'd say, the background that you can layer the words onto. So easy peasy, lots of fun. And then there are some additional dies as well. Present and a bow, stem and flowers, hearts, stars. So you can make some really very nice, simple cards with these, and then dress them up a little bit with those extra dies. I will say, when you're using those words, adhesive sheets come in very, very handy. And they will just make your life easier. So if you're not used to working with adhesive sheets, I would add some to your shopping list, because they make a huge, huge difference, okay? So I've got all my pieces and parts here. Okay, so I want to cut out the letters feel better soon from, what is this called? Petunia Pop. And I've already put adhesive sheet on the back. So this one is ready to go. Then I'm going to die cut, and I see I missed getting some cardstock pieces out. Always check your dies and make sure you don't have cardstock stuck in those little spaces, because that does make a difference in cutting. If that little space accumulates too many layers of cardstock, then it doesn't cut as well in that area. So always check that. Usually I check it before I put them away. So anyways, on the white, I don't feel I need to have the adhesive, because it comes out large enough that it's easy for me to just add some multi-purpose glue. But for the words, I highly suggest adhesive sheets. Now, if you don't have adhesive sheets, don't let that stop you from using these. I will talk about what you can do to make adhering your letters easy if you don't have adhesive sheets. Adhesive sheets, I guess you'd say, are a luxury. Yes, we can make beautiful cards with these wanted to say dies without adhesive sheets. Adhesive sheets just make things a wee bit easier for us. Okay, so let me move these out of the way. I like to use the piercing tip on my Take Your Pick tool. If you know any crafters that are moms, aunts, grandmas, friends, and they don't have a Take Your Pick tool, this would be an awesome gift. Or, you know, somebody, a crafter that has a birthday coming up, or you're just spending some special girl time together. This is an awesome gift. I believe it's like $10 or $12. But once you have it, you're going to love it, and you'll be like, what? How did I ever live without that Take Your Pick tool? So now I need to pull up this adhesive, and I just run my finger along it, or thumb. You can maybe use your Take Your Pick tool here. I find that it actually comes up pretty easily. And you just want to pull gently and slowly because the letters are quite thin. And then I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to get that first word into place. Then I move to the middle and press those down. If I need to scooch that R over so it fits where it's supposed to. And then the last word, Feel Better Soon. So it's actually quite easy to adhere it to the layered piece, or the bubble piece, I'll call it. So now let's put this together with a card. And where did my designer series paper go? Let me check the envelope. Maybe it's still in there. No, but these are. This is the kind of day I've had. Like I said, I had a different demonstration prepared. And then the products went, see if it's the one I want. I bet I have it cut in here even. Nope. Okay, so what I need is 3.5 by 4.5. And you know, I do like bringing to your attention things that are often overlooked. So in addition to the set of wanted to say dies, that's not right. It should be 4.5 by 3. In addition to the wanted to say dies, I'm also using the 2023 to 2025 in color designer series paper, because this will be going away in these patterns. Okay, once May 6th comes around, we will still have these colors, but you'll see a new pattern on the designer series paper. So I'm trying to use some of this up. The other thing is I'm using the note cards and envelopes. Remember, these are a finished size of 3.5 by 5 inches, and you can mail these, okay? In the United States, you can mail these with a single forever stamp. So now let's put all this together. So this piece of Petunia Pop is... did you see what I did? Oh my gosh, I'm having a day. Lordy. So the DSP measures 3 inches by 4.5. So this Petunia Pop measures 3 1/8 inch by 4 5/8. And when I add this video to my blog, I will make sure all these dimensions are there to help you out. Then I have another piece of petunia pop that measures 2 inches by 3.5. And I'm putting that on white, which measures 2 1/8 by 3 5/8. I just wanted a narrow border of cardstock on these. I'm gonna center that. On the words or the phrase, I'm actually going to use some dimensionals. Oh, goodness, come on. Put that right in the center of my layers. And then I die cut a white flower, and I just put a little piece of scrap of the petunia pop on the back side to have that colored center of my flower. You could also fill in that flower center with a embellishment of some kind, okay? So I'm going to add a tiny bit of multi-purpose glue just on the leaves because I don't want this getting everywhere. I'm going to do just like that. And then I'm going to put, actually I use a mini dimensional on the back of this flower. And again, the stem and leaves and the flower are from that same wanted to say die set. And if you weren't with me at the very beginning, you may not have heard me say this die set is on the last chance list. It is low inventory. It is marked 10% off. So I think it comes to $35.10. But get it sooner than later if you want it, because it will be gone. Okay. Now let me show you a few more things I did with this set of dies. And I'm just going to start by putting my card pieces together. So I'm using Summer Shade for this card. And this measures 4 7/8 by, let me think, that's not right. Yes, it is. 4 7/8 by 3 3/8. Yep. And this measures, the DSP measures 4.5 by 3, and then my white is just 1/8 of an inch larger. So 4 5/8 by 3 1/8. I think when you add layers to these note cards, it really dresses them up and makes them so much more than what they are on their own. Does that make sense? You can make really nice simple cards, stamps, ink, and paper with the note cards, but I love to add lots of layers oftentimes. Now here I've got a little birthday present with a bow. Again, those dies are in the set. I already die cut the background for the happy birthday, okay? And I already have my adhesive sheet on the back side of that cardstock. I'm going to give you a couple tips right here. Number one is try to have your adhesive sheet just a tiny bit smaller than your cardstock. And the reason I say that is because you don't want the adhesive sheet hanging over the cardstock, because it just gets a sticky mess on your hands, on the dies on the machine, okay, just makes life easier. You don't have as much of that sticky mess. You don't have the cleanup. So make your adhesive sheet just a tiny bit smaller than your cardstock. My other tip is, because I've seen many people make this mistake. People do this. No, 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 no. We need the adhesive on the back, okay? Cardstock up, adhesive on the back for it to die cut correctly. So I will just die cut this now. And while the feel better soon sentiment was one complete die, this is one die, but it punches out two individual words, okay? But yeah, the background is one piece, okay? So nothing different about this. It's just that they don't have the happy and the birthday script connected, which actually probably makes it easier for us to adhere the script to the bubble background. Now I'm using white. I'm doing a lot of tone on tone today, and I'm using color with white. You don't have to put the letters in color and then put them on a white background. You can mix and match. You can do whatever you want. If you want black to be the background, do that. If you want Petunia Pop, whatever. I think it's fun to just kind of play with it and mix and match. You want to pop out all these little negative spots that get left behind sometimes. Of course, they're much easier to get out if you do it before you adhere the word. And then again, I just start on the left side, press down the first couple letters, then I'm going to move my hand, press down a couple more letters. It's very sticky. But just go slowly and gently. And just kind of position those letters into their designated spot, just like that. And again, I don't feel I needed adhesive sheet behind the layer. And I'm just going to adhere that with some multi-purpose glue. On the last card, the phrase was popped up with dimensionals. And here I'm going to pop up our little present, our little birthday present. So it's kind of acting like these extra little die cuts are almost like little embellishments or additions to the other dies. Now I want to show you something about the present and the bow. Choose the way you want it to look, okay? On my sample, I have it so the bow is on the top of the present and I'm looking kind of square at it. Here it's on the top of the present, but I'm looking over the top to see the bow. So play with it. Oh, Joan, you're funny. To be patient is hard for you. I get it sometimes. So just something to be aware of. You've got a little choice there. Okay, now we're going to do something a little bit different for this third card. Excuse me. For this card, I've made my Pretty in Pink cardstock the same size as the note card front. So it measures 5 inches by 3.5. And then my other layers are the same size. 4.5 by 3, 4 5/8 by 3 1/8. No, that's not right. A full quarter on this one, sorry. 4 1/8 by 3 inches and 4.5 by 3 inches. 4.5 by 3 inches, okay? 4.5 by 3 inches. And then the white is 4 3/4 by 3 1/4. And you know what? I got distracted and I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing yet, because that ruins the whole point of what I want to show you. Did I tell you it's been that kind of a day? Sharon, all of the dies that I'm using today are from the same die set called Wanted to Say, okay? All the words, phrases. What I want to do here is take this background, this layer for the word celebrate, and I'm going to put it right about there. I'm going to use a little piece of Post-it tape because I do want this to be straight across. I looked up to see comments and I got myself distracted. Jumped ahead of where what I should have been doing. So for now, we're just leaving the words alone, and I'm actually cutting the layered portion of the Celebrate from the Designer Series paper. And my adhesive is on there. So this is this piece I'll be using on this card. However, I still kept this layered piece. And I'll show you, after this card, I'll show you what I did with that. Okay, let's try again, Mary. So now I want to add my DSP to the white layer. So I ended up being sick all last week. I think almost everybody in the family has been sick. And I think it all stems from Easter, because Riley came down with something Easter weekend. And even though we didn't see each other after the Easter weekend, we all ended up sick. But everybody's on the mend now. And we all said we're grateful that it already happened this week, because on the 11th of May, our family trip to Disney World starts. So, okay, I want to point out again, remember that I like to cut my adhesive sheet a little smaller than my cardstock that I'm using, okay? Or cut your cardstock a little bit bigger than the adhesive. I usually cut my cardstock first and then cut the adhesive sheet to go with it. So now I've got this lovely word, celebrate, in this lovely script. I like the word celebrate for a sentiment, because you can use it for any kind of celebration. Maybe a child or grandchild was in the school play, or had their first soccer goal, or has been getting good grades. So we celebrate those things. Perhaps somebody is finishing chemo treatments. So we decide we're going to celebrate anniversaries, birthdays, graduations. What else? Retirement, new babies. You see that we go on and on, right? So I love that word, celebrate. Now you can see here, I don't have this quite lined up, and I can just take your pick tool and scoot the letters over a little bit, because that adhesive sheet is sticky, but it's not so sticky that you can't manipulate your pieces a little bit. Eventually, obviously, it's going to be permanent. Now, this is one of the dies in the Wanted to Say die set. And what surprised me is, because I didn't notice when I started using the die, all the little stars are connected. I thought they were 5 separate little stars. There are some hearts in the die set as well. And the 3 hearts, I believe, are separate. But the stars... Okay, so there's my 3rd card. But before I give you a word today so I can give these cards away, I said I would show you what I did when I had this left over from making my samples. Because, you know, if I can use it, I do. Here it is. Super simple. Just a note card. This one I didn't put any layers on. I used this piece, die cut the word celebrate in white or out of white cardstock. And then I used the cutest onesie stamp set and dies to make this, and added some bling around that, the neck of that onesie. So super quick, super simple way to use a scrap, but a really cute card for a baby girl. Okay? So, like I said, you can always think of something to make with these other pieces. All right, so what do you think? Okay, one more time, and I think you all know me well. I am not a pushy salesperson, but I like to keep people informed. If you are interested in, and remember it had the, what was the other one? I must have put it away. You're So Kind, which is great for showing gratitude, that sort of thing. If you are interested in this die set, it is called Wanted to Say, S-A-Y, Wanted to Say, okay? It has been on the last chance list, and about an hour before I went live, I saw that the stamp set is now low inventory. So if you want it, I'm going to suggest that you order it right away, okay? Not wait, because it might be gone in the next hour. It might be gone in another day. It may be gone in 10 days. We don't know. I just know that it is low inventory now. And I think it's a great one. I think it's one many people have overlooked because it does not have a coordinating stamp set. But as you can see, we can make fabulous cards with just that die set, okay? It never had a stamp set, never had a coordinating stamp set. All right, let's see. How about if you would like to have your name put into the drawing to receive one of these cards, type in the comments now, celebrate. Celebrate. Donna, thank you. I'm glad you like the cards. Thanks, Joan and Julie. I have to quickly say this since my friend Julie Heights is watching. Yeah, type in the comments the word celebrate if you want your name put into the drawing to receive one of these cards. Julie Heights, my good friend from Toledo, Ohio, Chirpy Doodle makes the quilt cards. I had 3 friends over this weekend. No, 4, excuse me, 4. And we were crafting all weekend, just each doing their own thing. And my one friend, Jackie, likes to get her ideas from videos, YouTube videos. And all of a sudden I thought, boy, I hear a familiar voice. And I looked up and I said, is that Julie Heights on your, on the video? And Jackie said, yes, it is. So Julie, not only did I feel like you were right here with us in my Stampin' Piece studio, but please know Jackie and her sister Wanda love your quilt cards and even spent some time making those. So if you don't know what those are, when I say quilt cards, please check out Chirpy Doodle. All right, everybody. And good to have on hand. There's a good pretty, okay. Yes, I agree. You can make up some cards pretty quickly. And again, these are the 3.5 by 5 note cards and envelopes. They are a great deal. Okay, very, very, very cost effective. And I like to use them to make up sets of cards or when I need to build up my inventory of cards, that sort of thing. Thanks for spending part of your Tuesday with me. I'm glad my voice held out because I didn't really have a voice for about 4 days last week. But anyways, it was good to be back with you since I missed both Facebook Lives last week, because you can't do a Facebook Live if you can't, people can't hear you. You don't have a voice. All right, everybody, have a good evening. Be sure to come back here to Stampin' Piece with Mary Nabe on Thursday, May 1st at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, because I'll be demonstrating my May one-sheet wonder. Okay, May one-sheet wonder will be on Thursday, May 1st. And you're gonna love it. And that's all I'm saying, you're gonna love it. See you soon. Bye-bye.